People ask me all the time, how's the market nowadays? What's going on in the real estate in the Milwaukee area? And there's plenty of things I can say in my own words. Today's video, we're going to talk about what exactly is the answer to that question in a more thorough, detailed manner. Everybody, welcome back to the Moving to Milwaukee channel. Today, I'm going to be giving you a breakdown of the real estate market update for third quarter of 2025. People ask all the time and wonder all the time how the market is doing in real estate nowadays. Whether you're thinking about buying, selling, or even just keeping an eye on the market in the Milwaukee area, I've got the numbers, trends, and what it all means for you. And these are numbers exactly from the MLS. So this is the most thorough and up-to-date data for you to use when it comes to considering making a decision for your housing goals. And before we begin, I am your host, William Lowe's, the local real estate agent out of the greater Milwaukee and Southeast Wisconsin area. If everything what I'm going to show you here today, it looks good and you're more curious about what homes are out there to buy, or you're curious about what your home may sell for, give me a call today. My contact info is on the screen. Let's set up an appointment and a consultation. No obligation, just a conversation, no cost. And we will talk about your housing goals together and how I can best help you in today's real estate market. This data that I am presenting is the most up-to-date as of quarter 3 of 2025. So let's waste no time and jump right into it. So let's start off with a high-level overview of where we are right now in the greater Milwaukee area real estate market. As of 2025, as you can see by these charts, the median sale price for single-family homes in the Milwaukee area is about $369,900. So let's say $370,000 just to round up to make it easier. So that's up about 8.16% from the same time last year in 2024. Now, scrolling up to the specific chart, active listings rose to about 3,508, which is up about 9.4% higher than August 2024. So with that said, inventory in the market is definitely improving. Meanwhile, new listings may have dropped slightly year over year, down about 8.8%, which means sellers might still be holding back a little bit despite seeing some higher prices on the return on investment. Now, not to mention, with this in mind, there's also some buyers who might be fatigued out of the market because they might be either priced out or just tired of looking and just have already renewed a lease for the year. So with some buyers pulling back, who took a backseat in the past year or two, and the new inventory coming on, this creates a lot more options for the buyers who are seriously looking. And some sellers, even though they hold back, they might be holding back because if they're selling high, they might be under the assumption that they might be buying high too. So they might be just a little bit cautious with their dollars for that matter. Now, the average sale price be up about to $452,488 precisely. This is going to be up a strong 8.52% year over year. What does this mean? It means we're seeing a classic seller's market situation. Strong price growth, improving, but still relatively low inventory, and definitely going to see some competitive conditions as well still. What I tell people is that our market in Milwaukee here is a little spotty, which means some homes might sell within a few days of being listed, but more often than not, you're going to see homes in a lot of neighborhoods sitting for a week or two, or even upwards of a month before going under contract. Now, does this mean there's anything wrong with a home? Absolutely not. Because we're in a slow period, it just means things are moving a little slower nowadays, and homes may take a little bit longer to sell. As I tell people generally, we're definitely not in 2020 or 2021 anymore, where some homes were flying off the shelves in days, if not hours, of being publicly listed on MLS. Okay, now let's look at pricing trends a bit more in detail. From the charts I'm looking at here, you can see that the median list price steadily throughout 2025, and it hit just about $435,000 in August. So it's up about 5.1% year over year. The median sale price closely tracks that, suggesting that buyers are still stepping up to sellers' expectations, just maybe not bidding a ridiculous amount over asking price. Not as often as it was a few years ago in 2021, when there were bidding wars all over the place. Now, however, the sale to original list price ratio definitely dipped slightly in August to just under 100%, down earlier in the summer. Now, that could signal that buyers are becoming slightly more cautious or selective in their options. Now, one thing that stands out is that the average days on the market fell sharply from early 2025, peaking in February at nearly 50 days, down to about 28 days on average in August. Homes are moving a bit faster again, which shows that demand is still strong heading into the fall season. Now, another key metric to pay attention to is going to be the absorption rate. Now, what is this exactly? This is going to tell us how fast homes are selling relative to the inventory that's being put on the market. As of August, the absorption rate is about 1.89 months. So it's up from 1.78 about a year ago in 2024, but it is still very much a seller's market in this current time in the real estate market. So anything under 3 months favors sellers is a good rule of thumb to go by. Now, compared to early 2025, when it dipped close to 1.2 months, the rise suggests more balance, but still very far from neutral. Now, how about we talk about how much money is actually flowing through the markets? The sold price volume in August was roughly about $1.2 billion, up from earlier this year. Active listing volume was nearly at $1.9 billion. Now, this is showing us that higher priced homes are hitting the market once again. Now, despite this new list volume has come down slightly, another sign is that some sellers may be pausing to see how Q4 might play out this year. There is a lot of movement happening right now in the $300,000 to $600,000 range. Now, that is definitely the sweet spot for much of Milwaukee's single family market. Now, here's a fact that may surprise you, is that inventory is actually rising in the mid to high end price points. Listings between $400,000 and $600,000 are up about 13% to 20% year over year. In fact, listings over $1 million are up 11%, and the $800,000 to $1 million segment grew 16.4% this month versus last year. Now, this suggests that move-up sellers and luxury owners are starting to come back to the market, possibly because they have built enough equity and been patient long enough to make a move worthwhile in this current time where home prices are still rising and have still come up a very long way in the past couple of years, even in today's rate environment. Now, all in all, what is driving this market? You have strong demand, which is coming from both local move-up buyers and new transplants, and you have equity-rich homeowners fueling mid to luxury market activity. How about interest rates? Well, they've stabilized somewhat and they're trickling down a little bit in the past month or so, but they're still keeping a little bit of pressure on affordability, which is why price growth may be moderating just slightly away from its peak earlier this year, and why buyers might still be a little bit apprehensive that making a move or coming back into the market. On the flip side of that, however, affordability definitely still remains a challenge, especially under the $300,000 threshold, where inventory has actually declined in most brackets compared to 2024. So we've got a classic tale of two markets here. We've got the under $300,000 range where you have a lot of tight inventory, and when inventory does come on the market, you'll have a lot of fast sales for that. And anything at $600K and above, you got a little bit more rising inventory, slower movement, but there's definitely some opportunity for buyers who are looking to get out there and nab themselves at a new home. Now, what can we expect going ahead into late fall, into winter, and going into 2026? Well, typically Q4 will see a little bit of a seasonal slowdown, but with low inventory, homes will still sell fast, especially if they are priced very well or ahead of the market, because this could drive some strong buyer activity. Now, watch these indicators going forward. If absorption rate is trending towards 2 months, the median days on the market currently is at just 8 days, which at that point, it would still be very fast. Continued strength in the list to sell ratios near 100%. And when it comes to interest rates, if they stay flat or drop a little bit more slightly, we may see a late fall rally from buyers trying to lock in a choice home before 2026. And some final advice I have for buyers and for sellers. For buyers, focus on homes sitting 15 days or more on the market. You may get some leverage that you're looking for, and that might help you with your home purchase. Not to mention, get pre-approved and be ready. Hot homes still sell fast, and getting a pre-approval doesn't only let you know that you can't afford the home, but it also gets you ready for when you do come across that one home that checks all of your boxes. Lastly, watch mid-price brackets where inventory is definitely building, especially in the $400,000 to $650,000 range. And my advice for sellers is that if you're even just pondering at the idea of a sale, now is still a very strong window. The average sale price is up 8.5% year over year. And if it's priced correctly, buyers are active, but they're definitely not reckless. Lastly, prep your home well, keep it clean, and be sure to call a great real estate agent to list it strategically. If you're curious about what your home is worth right now, or you're curious about what you can afford in today's market, well guys, thank you for tuning in to my little Q3 market update for 2025. If you like this video or found it helpful, be sure to hit like and subscribe at the bottom to stay in the loop for when I release new content. Got any questions or want to talk strategy? Drop a comment or reach out to me today. I'm here to help. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.